Hold up, Browns Nation, before you scroll past this video, I need 60 seconds of your time, because what I'm about to tell you could completely flip the script on our defensive backfield. And trust me, you don't want to miss this bombshell that's been flying under the radar while everyone's been distracted by the drama elsewhere in the AFC North. Picture this. It's fourth quarter, playoff implications on the line, and some hotshot receiver thinks he's about to torch our secondary for the game-winning touchdown. But instead of watching another heartbreaking collapse, you see number 21 coming out of nowhere like a freight train, laying the wood and forcing a fumble that seals the victory. That player could be wearing brown and orange sooner than you think, and his last name might sound very familiar. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just cut loose a safety who's been flying completely under everyone's radar, and I'm telling you right now, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry need to be speed dialing this guy's agent before another AFC North team gets smart and snatches him up. We're talking about Shiloh Sanders, and before you roll your eyes thinking this is just another nepotism story, pump the brakes and hear me out, because this kid brings exactly what our defense has been missing. Let me paint you the picture of where we stand right now. Martin Emerson Jr., our lockdown corner who was supposed to anchor this secondary, is done for the season. Gone. That's already a massive hole in our defensive foundation. Then you look at our safety room, and while Grant Delpit has shown flashes of brilliance, consistency has been the kryptonite. Ronnie Hickman's been grinding as an undrafted free agent, but let's be real. Our depth chart at safety looks thinner than a Cleveland winter jacket in a Lake Erie snowstorm. Now here comes Shiloh Sanders, freshly released by Tampa Bay after throwing a punch in a preseason game against Buffalo. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Red flags everywhere, right? But dig deeper past that one moment of frustration, and you'll find a player who brings the exact kind of physicality and playmaking ability that could transform our defensive identity overnight. This isn't just some kid riding daddy's coattails either. At Colorado last season, Sanders racked up 67 tackles, and that's not padding stats against cupcake opponents. We're talking about a safety who isn't afraid to come downhill and meet ball carriers head-on. 2 seasons ago, he forced 4 fumbles with his aggressive style of play. 4. When's the last time you saw Browns safety consistently creating turnovers like that? I can already hear some of you thinking, but what about his coverage skills? Look, nobody's pretending Sanders is the next Ed Reed in coverage, yet. But here's what separates smart organizations from mediocre ones. They recognize that football isn't played on a stat sheet. You need players who bring that dog mentality, who can change the momentum of a game with one bone-crushing hit that gets the entire stadium on their feet. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, we already drafted Shiloh Sanders back in April. Some people are worried about too much Sanders family drama, too much media attention. But you know what I say to that? Bring it on. This franchise has been starving for relevant storylines that don't involve disappointment and heartbreak. Having 2 Sanders brothers potentially anchoring our offense and defense? That's appointment television every Sunday. Scott Petrick from Pro Football Network broke down exactly why this move makes sense, and he's absolutely right. Sanders brings versatility that our coaching staff can mold into something special. Jim Schwartz has shown he can get the most out of defensive backs, and imagine what he could do with a player who already has that natural football IQ bred into his DNA. But here's the real kicker, and this is where things get interesting from a strategic standpoint. We're not just talking about adding depth, we're talking about adding a player who could completely change how opposing offenses prepare for us. Right now, teams know they can attack our secondary with crossing routes and underneath concepts because they're not worried about getting their heads taken off. Sanders changes that calculation instantly. Think about it, you're an offensive coordinator game planning against Cleveland, and now you've got to account for a safety who's not just going to wrap up and tackle, he's going to try to separate your receiver from both the ball and his consciousness. That changes everything. Suddenly, those quick slants over the middle aren't automatic completions anymore. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. Our defense has been good, sometimes even great, but we've been missing that one piece that takes us from playoff contenders to legitimate Super Bowl threats. We need someone who can cover ground, support the run game, and most importantly, create those game-changing moments that shift momentum. And let's be brutally honest about where we are as a franchise. We've been building something special over the past few seasons, but we're still missing that killer instinct, that swagger that championship teams possess. Adding a player like Sanders, someone who plays with passion and isn't afraid of contact, could be the attitude adjustment our entire defense needs. Now, I'm not saying this is a done deal. The NFL is unpredictable, and there are probably a dozen other teams looking at Sanders right now. But if Andrew Berry is as smart as we think he is, he's already working the phones. This is the kind of low-risk, high-reward move that separates good general managers from great ones. The best part, Sanders has already proven he can perform under pressure and in big moments. His college resume speaks for itself. South Carolina, Jackson State, Colorado. He's been tested at every level and consistently produced. That's not accident. That's a player who knows how to rise to the occasion. So here's what I need from you, Browns Nation. First, smash that like button if you want to see this move happen, and if you're not already subscribed to Browns Breakout, what are you waiting for? We're building something special here, and I need every member of the Dog Pound riding with us as we break down every move, every rumor, and every game-changing moment. Second, drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you ready to welcome another Sanders to Cleveland? Do you think Shiloh could be the missing piece that pushes our defense over the edge? Or are you worried about potential distractions and chemistry issues? Because here's the thing, this season is shaping up to be something special. We've got key players coming back from injury, a quarterback situation that's finally stabilized, and a defense that's been steadily improving. Adding a player like Sanders could be the spark that ignites everything. The AFC North is wide open right now. Baltimore's dealing with their own issues, Pittsburgh's offense is still questionable, and Cincinnati's window might be closing faster than they realize. This is our moment to seize control of the division and make a statement that Cleveland is ready to compete with anyone. Mark my words, the next few weeks are going to be crucial for our franchise's trajectory. Moves like potentially signing Shiloh Sanders might seem small now, but they're the kind of decisions that define championship runs years later. We're not just building a team. We're building a culture, an identity, and a legacy that Browns fans have been waiting decades to embrace. Stay locked in with me because I'll be tracking every development, every rumor, and every potential move that could impact our season. This is just the beginning, and trust me, the best is absolutely yet to come for this franchise. Keep that same energy, Browns Nation, because we're about to show the entire NFL what happens when Cleveland gets serious about winning championships.